Oh my gosh. Oh, whoa, you're halfway there. Whoa, half the soup is there. Today we're back testing another batch of kitchen gadgets, starting with these freeze pods from Lakeland, and actually we need to get these going. Okay, so these jumbo looking Lego brick things with a lid are silicone, but you can put them in the freezer, the oven, the microwave, and they're proving really popular for batch cooking. So each of these compartments are 250 milliliters of that. That's actually quite good. Locks in freshness and flavor. It's dishwasher safe. I will give it a wash before we use it, but I want to test the freezing. From a review point of view, 5 stars all around. Mohammed says, best thing ever. They work perfectly. Love the color. I quite like red. And another one from Merrill Davies Evans, 5 stars, fab. Great for skills. That's obviously a mistype. What do you mean by skills? And stews. I get the stew thing. You put your stew in there. Brilliant. Skills. There was definitely a mistype there, and it's going to haunt me for the rest of this video, but I want to get freezing. People, this is why we are going to be doing the freezing bit first, because I want to try and get some cubes. So I like it's actually got the unit measurements in there, so it does go up to 250 milliliters. But what I quite like is, because it's like oven proof, you could probably make some bricks out of this for like a cake. But what I'm going to do is test it with some preservation, really. And I know I normally say on these videos, before commenting down below, please consider that some of the gadgets can help people with certain disadvantages in the kitchen. I don't think today that's really the case. A lot of them, well, there's one that's not a gadget. It's a lot of fun. You'll see that in a minute. But I think most of them today are quite useful. So that was just some soup. Right here, I've got, this is from the refrigerated section of a supermarket. There we go. There you get that in there, my friend. Had a lot of requests for batch cooking, and we tend to just use the slow cooker, but I think these could be brilliant. This is some spaghetti meatballs. There we go. So in this final one, we're doing a shepherd's pie. So that's the base, and I might have to do a little bit of a jigsaw here. Oh, there you go. Yes. This is the mash that came with it. It's been piped on. It's got some nice patterns, or well, at least it did have, right? Okay, so we'll get the lid on and get this in the freezer immediately. God, it's actually quite heavy. Yes, because the clock is ticking. All being well, we'll have a soup cube that we'll warm in the microwave, but also the mashed potato on that pie. It wasn't baked enough, so we could potentially leave it in that mold and bake it in the oven to brown the potato on top and actually end up with a mini shepherd's pie. That's pretty cool. This one is from Mark on Discord. He told me about this clean rice machine that looks like it's been in a battle. It's arrived damaged like this. It feels very light. So here we go, clean rice machine. The convection-like does not need the hand to wash. Well, maybe that means that you haven't got to wash the rice in your hands. Simple, convenient. Not quite sure why it says fashion there, but that is a great diagram that demonstrates the cycling. In fact, it's actually on the listing itself. There's also what I thought was someone putting nail varnish on at the bottom there, but it's actually in case someone cuts their hand. Which, of course, I haven't done for the last few gadget videos, have I? I can't believe I've cut myself again. Ah. Ow! You kind of know a box is bad where you have to like rip the tape off and actually rip off the wording on the box, but if this works, it could be brilliant. This has definitely been used before. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, no. It's even got the measurements on it in a different language. So these strips are to allow the water to come out. You've got a little filter on there to stop the rice pouring. And that's pretty much it. I was expecting there to be some sort of fan in there or something, but it must be the design of it. I don't know, what does it remind me of, like a bathtub that should allow the water to cycle through it. So let me get it washed, but whilst we do, we'll see what people think. So Ali has given it 5 stars. I thought she was going to start off going another song, like you put your left arm in, you put your rice in under the tap, put the tap on full, and it really washes your rice better than the swish and half your rice has gone laughing emoji. Brilliant. Kiki says, just great with 5 stars. My first impression was that it seems small to me, which is obviously what we've just seen, but it is not so. It looks small, but comes with lots of rice. Well, mine didn't come with any rice, but I think we know what she means. It's super easy to use and simply does what it should well, quickly and cleanly. To contra that, Ing, 1 star, poor. The photo makes this look much larger than the doll's house size received, so disappointed as looking forward to using this, too small and flimsy, pound shop quality. Other reviews said that this agitating rice bowl doesn't agitate. It doesn't get angry. But if we just put that image on the screen right now of that what looks like a recycling logo on the bowl, you kind of get the theory. Okay, so the product listing video, I'm not going to play the music because it has sort of like elevator music, but just like with nails scratching down a blackboard. It is awful. But they're washing the rice here. The tap goes over that filter, and that is that cycling happening. No hand washing, no touch, And there we go. It should result in clean rice. Okay, so I'm going to use 100 grams of rice. This is the stuff, oh my gosh. Get it in the bowl. Well, it might be 99 grams. This is the stuff that I'm not going to wash, okay? Let me just give that a stir. There you go. See how dirty that water is? I was a bit worried then, going, well, that's not dirty at all. Look. So 100 grams of rice. I wonder if it'll go up to that number 1 on there. I don't know if it will, but let's find out. Do you know what? That is nowhere near it. And that's a decent amount of rice for one person. You can get quite a lot in there. I'm not going to test that side of it, but one of the things it did promote was these amazing sturdy feet. It looks more like fins on a fish, but that is a nice steady bowl, yes. Let's get the lid on. I love that in case you don't want to use this handle, you've got another one like that, so you can sort of carry it like a lantern. So here we go. Oh, that's filling up, that's filling up. Oh, the rice is actually moving. Well, not all of it, just a bit. Oh my gosh. I've got to stir it a little bit. There you go. That's actually starting to do it. I've got to drain it off manually and I'm using a lot of water, but even that looks a lot clearer. Look. I feel like this is possibly like the budget one, and there might be some really advanced rice washers that I've never discovered before, which could be seen in a follow-up video. It's getting clearer, but it's not agitating, and I wonder if that's because I've not got rice all the way up to the number 1. So we'll put some more rice in. I was going to say, it's quite a difference there, but there is no water in this one. And it doesn't matter how much rice, because I will weigh out the same amount. Just going to get it up quite high now. This is a lot of rice. It's deceptive. We don't need that much, but I'll have some for tea tonight. I wonder if it's called the agitator because you end up getting agitated with it. Look, that's a lot in there. That filter is stopping it well. It does say you can do quinoa and things, but people were saying it like does fall out. I don't know, you know, I mean, it's doing it. I don't know, it's not moving. I mean, there's a lot of rice in there now. We're up to like, well, settled it's about 2.5. But look, I can pour it like that and it's not coming out. That is good. I mean, by pouring it, at least you're kind of agitating it yourself and it's sort of shuffling the rice. See, it does like the top half. Oh my gosh. I've got more rice, don't worry. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that lid was on properly. This is the rest of my rice bag. I was careful how I poured that then. And it's sort of doing it. Right, I'm going to keep going. Okay, so for reference, I did that for another 10 minutes and it didn't feel like I was getting it fully clean, but this is the same rice that have been washed and I'm going to put in the equivalent amount of water. Let's just see if I give that a stir. Oh my gosh, look at the difference. That is crazy. I mean, I don't really want to see my water bill for next month, but that's another story. So I'm cooking both of these up now. Look at the difference. That looks all murky, and this, you can actually see the rice at the bottom. So we've washed the starch off. When you wash rice, it stops it getting sticky and clumpy and should result in a lighter, fluffier rice. It might look the same, but the texture might be different and ultimately the taste, I'll let you know. But whilst it's doing that, apparently that thing can also wash fruit. Yes, in case you don't want to wash fruit in a dishwasher. That's amazing, look at that! It's actually washing our fruit. Which I think actually, I've got some grapes here straight from the supermarket. We've just got some red and green, very nice. Yeah, a little bit disappointing in this lid. It does snap on, but I think it was the weight of the water with the rice. It just pushed it off. Look, it doesn't take much for it to come off. Anyhow, does it wash fruit? Oh wow. It's a good theory, you know, with that spout. It is washing it. I was kind of hoping it was going to spin around. Does it wash fruit? Yes, it does. Have I got rice? Oh my gosh, all over my sink that I need to tidy up whilst the other rice cooks. Yes, I have. Let's jump to the rice being cooked and see if you can see any difference whatsoever. I'm finding it really fascinating still. Look how murky that is versus the clear in there. And I think the clear one has actually cooked a bit quicker. This is our washed rice, and this is the non-washed, more starchy rice. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but this washed rice does have a slightly, just a very tiny yellowy hue to it. And also the non-washed looks like it wants to be sort of more independent and like just individual pieces of the rice, where the wash stuff has kind of got this consistency where it is more fluffier and it wants to, I don't know, sort of fall in together a bit more. It wants to be friends, whereas that non-wash stuff is, maybe it's the starch, it just wants to still do its own thing. They both look nearly exactly the same, as I say. That's the only initial things I can see. Let's go. I think it'll be easier for me if I go for the non-washed first of all. There is a slight sort of gummy, I want to say like gluey texture to it from the moisture. I mean, it's plain rice, so it's not the most exciting thing. And the washed rice, which, let's be honest, I think I used about 50 litres of water on that. Another aside, I think I've made some crocs. That is a crazy difference. That is light and fluffy and tender. I've got to go back to this one now. It's rice, but it's rigid, it's gummy. I've never done that before. That is an absolutely bonkers comparison. And whether we use this, or whether you use a mug, whether you use your hands, I wonder if there's one that's slightly more advanced than that. I didn't mind it. I prefer a lid that stays on. So from this very quirky machine that I actually kind of like, to something that, well, isn't really a gadget at all, that I saw in the shop the other day, and I think it's quite fun. So from a plate of rice to a plate of nice eggs, this is an egg plate. It's about as gadgety as a potato. I know that. I was in a shop with Mrs. B the other day. She went to the clothes section. I went to the kitchen gadget section. I saw this plate and I was like, oh wow, it's cool. The only review I could find was happy customer, 5-star, excellent. I love this plate so much. It's an absolute joy to behold. I mean, there aren't many plates that are actual joys to behold, but yeah, I did get excited when I saw this. So let's get it over and done with. Right, don't mind me just getting some bread. There we go. That's amazing. So you just take the top off of your egg. The irony is I don't actually like boiled eggs that much. Mrs. B loves boiled eggs, so although she was shopping, this is actually something that she'd probably enjoy, and I'll keep it for her. However, as cracking as that looks, I mean, it kind of doubles up as a serving platter, doesn't it? Yeah, so we can get our grapes here. Look at this. Get rid of the egg. And I've got myself, I mean, you could use a chocolate ganache or something. I've got some chocolate mousse here. So you could use it as a nice little platter that isn't biased towards eggs. It's a sharing platter, but I'm in here on my own with a pug. But it works. And don't worry, I'm not running out of gadgets by any means. I just saw that and I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. And that's what a plate does, okay? Next up is a kitchen gadget with possibly the coolest name ever. This, by Dreamfarm, is the Flapple. Why is it called the Flapple, which is an amazing word? It's a flat stored apple slicer. So you open these, which help give you leverage, which reveals a typical apple slicer. We've had one like that for years. In fact, this very one, which Mrs. B discovered looks like an apple, we used in a recent hacks video where you slice cucumber with. That was an amazing hack. Except this one has got the leverage there to help you. And there's also, if we can see it here, got some sort of like chopping board on the back, like a rest for the apple. Yeah, so I think with this one, you've got like the blades exposed all the time, but that can tuck away nice and flat. Let's see what other people think. One thing with Dreamfarm is all their packaging. They always had shoelaces. It's really cool. One of my favorite kitchen gadget manufacturers, actually, but let's dampen my enthusiasm. Edward Bonnell does not work with all cans. Just does not work with some cans that have a thick rim. Disappointing. Does Edward think that this is like a drinks can opener or something? It's for an apple, mate, and it'll probably work really well on a potato as well for wedges. That's a good one. Carly Hutu, great idea, doesn't cut well. 1 star. There was a few like this. I have to literally pound or put all my weight behind it to get the apple through. If that would be corrected, this would be the best in the market. The folding feature is fantastic. We've had this at home longer than Chloe. This is like lasted the test of time. 5 stars from Laura Y. Compact and portable. Works great. I love it. Has an included cutting board base and the handles lock down into the cutting board when folding up, so everything stays neatly in place inside my lunch bag. All blades are covered when folded, so I don't have to worry about slicing a finger when grabbing things out of my bag. Great for work lunches. That's actually genius. And yeah, I'll show you that now. I've given it a wash, and this is that base that, see these holes here? There's actually some hooks when you put it in. And this is why they're calling it a self-correcting base, because when you push it down, it does, there you go, it finds its way back here. And even that little bump there for the bottom of the apple might be really helpful, actually. But these hooks here, when it goes in there, they go into these holes here, okay? So look, if I just go like that, they'll sit in there. So you can store the whole thing in your drawer like that. That's actually really, really cool. But the biggest thing people are complaining about is the leverage on there. That does feel pretty good. I'm not gonna go completely overboard with this. If one apple works, brilliant. If not, I've got a few more we can try it on, but I don't fancy making an apple pie today. So that raised bump there, look, the apple does actually sit. Look, I can wobble it a bit. Obviously it's not bitten it, there's no spike there, but that isn't really falling off. That's great. So on here, I don't know, that does feel a little flimsy now actually. We'll just see. Oh my gosh, people are right. This is, oh, what? Oh my, oh. Why was that so tricky? And it didn't even self-adjust because I had to push it so firm. Oh, but at least once it hits the bottom there, and that's the great thing about it, because it's got its own chopping board, we have actually gone straight through the apple. I was really worried then. I tell you what, those people are right. That is not easy. There are some people this would not be suitable for. I mean, it could be the apples. These are Granny Smiths. They're pretty stubborn. Quite as stubborn as unwashed rice, as we've just found out. But look. Oh my, no, it is the apples too. This is what's good about it. Look, this hasn't gone all the way through because I can't. That is where this base works. So, softer apples. Granny Smith, one of the most toughest ones on there. I've now got 2 of them, so I'm gonna have a lovely afternoon snack. I'm gonna be giving this away on Patreon, so someone's gonna get it. It is definitely an upgrade on this one because, well, I normally have to get a knife or just tap it through like this. This feels really, really safe when I do it in isolation, but we don't really care. We've had it for years. It did the job. The apple was stubborn. I think it's just a bit specific about the apple you use. Right, before the final one involving bread, which is quite a fun one, let's see how those freezer tubs have got on. All right, here we go. All being well, I mean, based on the rice washing alone, this should definitely be frozen. Crikey, it is really heavy, I forget. Okay, if this hasn't been perfectly long enough, do give me some slack, folks. But, I wanted to try and get the soup out because I was gonna show you. Obviously, these are quite expensive, but what you can do is put them into some Ziploc bags and just keep them in your freezer, right? I don't know if it's gonna do it, but I'm gonna try because I wanna bake these 2, particularly the pie, to see if we can brown that potato and it can go in the oven. Okay, super duper. Soup pun intended. Oh, this is a little loose. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. If we, let's just see. Oh, it might be better than I thought, you know. This Ziploc bag isn't that big. Oh, I think I'm just gonna have to turn it onto the lid. So be it. Come on, like a little soup sandcastle. A soup castle. Oh, there you go. Oh, no, it's halfway there. The Bon Jovi of frozen soup cubes. Whoa, you're halfway there. Whoa, half the soup is there. Oh, brilliant. Oh, you get the idea. If it was a cube, you could put it in there and freeze it for another. I mean, I can still freeze that. It's fine. My point is, don't buy hundreds of these if you even like it, and keep them in your freezer when you could just buy a massive job lot of these. It's completely gone to mush now. Fantastic. Well, actually, that piece is quite good. Get that in there. That's much better. That's definitely proven my point. There you go. Get in there, mate. It's not going to be so cubey now. Obviously, you want to keep that shape so it will keep space in your freezer. But you know what? Soup comes in all shapes and sizes. Yeah, luckily I've got a fair bit of space in my freezer. But as for our potato-topped pie and our meatballs and a little speck of soup, you're going in the oven, mate. Yeah, I'm putting it on a tray just because I don't know if it'll actually spill over or not. So we're going to find out. We're going to finish today with this, which is called the Bread Buddy. And you know something is fairly budget when you've got to kind of self-brand it. It's got the label and I've got to stick it on myself. I might as well stick one with my face on it. But what is this? Is it a long rectangular tub? Yes. Did someone possibly discover this with another rectangular tub and create the Bread Buddy that you've got to self-brand? Yes, possibly. The Bread Buddy is a bread dispenser, but let's get it dressed. So yeah, I've got actually 2 of these that came, one with a white lid and a brown lid. There's my evidence, so I will be giving these away to 2 lucky people. And there's these caps at the bottom to cover up the vent holes if you wish. But there it is, Bread Buddy Bread Dispenser. In fact, that's pretty much what we're gonna be doing with it. Bread, fresh idea, everyone likes. Fresh your mouth, bread storage solution. Okay, it's a bread storage solution. That's literally it, but that sticker is so good. It deserves to be put on this box. Fairly straight. Look, I'm basically an employee of Bread Buddy right now. All right, so let's put these caps in, just like a keyboard. Caps lock. That's just for airflow, which is optional. So why do you need a bread buddy? This image on the screen right now, space-saving upright design. That's great. Rather than having a horizontal bread bin in your kitchen, which I think most of us have, you can shove your bread in there and have it, well, upright. And apparently these holes are for ventilation, but also will help do the vacuum of dispensing the bread, as we'll see. So we'll do both. We'll test it. 1 star from Cumini. Look at this picture of this bread trying to be wedged into it. Sadly, very good idea, but not for UK bread. Totally different dimension size. Have you seen bread in the UK? Shrinkflation? When was that review? I mean, I have taken that into account with my purchases. Thank you. This person's username is terrible, don't work at all, wasted, spelt like you waste, time and money makes a mess of Windows. What? Windows? Not you, Windows 11. Was that an IT joke? Very niche. Not for bread, space, full stop. Normal size bread don't fit and it builds up with condensation. Not good for bread. Took middle out and used for dog biscuits. I feel like that's an entire movie in a review. That's enough. But Jeff, 5 stars. Something solid about the name Jeff. Every Jeff I know is, yes, Jeff. My granddad's called Jeff. That's all I've got to say about that. I know other Jeffs and they're all solid.
Hunting Mao! Jeff?
It's a wonderful container for keeping sliced bread. Of course, as some others have said, you need to check the size of your bread before you buy it. So it actually forces you to buy bread based on this for the rest of your life. Well, let's have a jolly well good look. So here we go, my bread from earlier. I've got some other slices. They're calling it slice by slice dispensing. It is slightly shaped like a loaf. You've got the curvature there. I'm gonna keep these vents in it, I guess, because if you have those in, well, airflow, it can double up as a tub, which is possibly how it was invented, but look, this fits in there. Oh wow, it's like a little elevator for it. So if you have that on and you're storing it like that, you want it to be airtight, right? But no, what you're supposed to do, oh my gosh, that lid is better than our rice washer. You take the bag, you fold it over the sides. Now this was my worry, The bread is big enough, but is the bag, look, I want to push down on that, but because it's got the holes in, maybe that is what is stopping us. I don't know. Oh. Just popping these out. Oh my gosh, they don't really want to come out. Right, will this do it? No, it won't. Just in case we've trapped all the air in there, let's just give it a little bit of slack. Come on. It's not completely airtight in there, so it wants to... Oh my gosh, come on, mate. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh my God, imagine you just want to get a slice of bread out and you just... Yeah. Come on. Right, I've got to hold that bag back. Oh my gosh. Look, see, it's getting stuck there. The bag is just too tight. There we go. No, you're not the right size. Right, I've got some other loaves of bread because I was thinking, well, is this gonna fit? Oh my gosh, this isn't gonna fit without a little bit of manipulation. Gonna squish it down. So they were right about the UK size bread, 100%. That looked massive. Because I was thinking if we had like 2 reasonably sized loaves, you could have a couple in there. Right. I intentionally bought some sourdough, because Chloe Bloomin loves sourdough, to show you that if you get certain bread shapes that they wouldn't fit, like that is not gonna go in. I feel like we can make this one work. I've just got to, I shouldn't need to do this, but just try, oh, there you go. Get in there. I feel like if this doesn't work, every bread manufacturer should come up with their own shape one that fits their loaves of bread. So let's get this down. My caps are off. Oh my gosh, the one's gone. Look at the bread, it's got a massive dent in it. Oh, that's better. Look, here we go. Ah, like a little bread elevator. Take a slice off. Once you're done, you can, well, if it was a bit more less snug, put it down. Put your lid on, store it vertically, put your caps in if you want for longer term. Probably put it in the freezer actually, especially if it's not full of frozen bricks anyway. But there you go, you do it again, that on there like so. Oh my gosh, it is very, very bread specific. Once you get there, you do get a bready lift. Look at this. Let's raise a toast to the fact that this has somehow managed to work for us just. All right, still one of the greatest gadgets of all time that I use in most videos is a trivet. This is a flexible one. I think Joseph do it, but there's loads of spin-offs of it now. Oh, there we go. I have taken my eye off that quite a bit because I was preoccupied with some bread. But let's just show you, it has survived the oven. It's definitely oven-proof, isn't it? The soup has basically turned into tar, the remnants of that. The mashed potato is actually browned lovely, hasn't it? It's almost like you could have 3 courses. That's a video idea. Starter, main and dessert in that. That really is batch cooking. Gonna need a lot of freezer bags. I don't really want to eat it, but like, oh yeah, I've got a crust on that as well. And it's piping hot because it's bubbled over some of the filling. Gorgeous. This, I don't know. If I let it cool down much more, it might become a ZT. Yeah, actually it does. It has loosened up. Okay, that's good. I mean, it would be quite nice to serve it as a bit of a block, but that has worked. I'm just signing these and giving them away. Apart from this plate, Mrs. B will love this, and it would be like unfair of me to make this my favorite today. Like, this was great, but it shouldn't be bread specific. There's too many varieties these days. The rice washer I wasn't convinced by, and let's remember the lid fell off, but the difference was crazy. I want to see if there's a slightly better version, even if it's like a plug in the wall job. I think this is possibly my favorite. Super, super useful. And as for the Apple Gadget, thank you to everyone that supports the channel on Patreon or the recently launched YouTube memberships. Gosh, I don't know if I just fired potato starch at the camera, but yeah, I don't think the blades are as sharp as my old one, but we got some wedges. See you later, and check out the playlist for more Gadget videos.